Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. So it's the weekend, which means that Duo Fragrances just released 100 new fragrances. Not really, a bit of hyperbole there, but they are on a roll recently. But here we're gonna be taking a closer look at an original fragrance. This one is called Blackberry Brandy. So if you're a fan of boozy fragrances or fruity fragrances, make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video and I tell you all about Blackberry Brandy, the newest original creation by the company Duo Fragrances, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like reviews, top 10s, giveaways, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content. Now, I'm a huge fan of boozy fragrances, whether it be Amber Acalaria by Electimus London, or Creation E by Roja Parfums, or even Baraonda by Nasomato. I own a lot of really incredible and amazing boozy fragrances, and here we have one that spotlights the note of brandy. So this actually has blackberries in it. It has a type of brandy, I suppose, Blackberry Brandy, or a Blackberry Brandy Accord, if you will. It also has cherry liqueur, it has red berries, it has cedarwood, amber, vanilla. It sounds like a really dense, rich, flavorful composition. And I've also had the opportunity to wear it a few times because I've actually owned this for a few days now, and I gave it a few good wearings. And so I feel like I'm in a position where I can talk about it rather well, reflecting from my own experience. And let me tell you something, if you are a fan of boozy fragrances and you like fruity ingredients, I think this is one that's going to be a must-have for you, especially for the price. They're always running a promotion on the weekend. Before I start talking to you about the smell, let's take a quick look at the presentation. So this fragrance opens up very spicy and very boozy. Now, there aren't any spices listed in the note breakdown, but I know that spices can also kind of give off a boozy feel in a lot of fragrances. And that's precisely what I'm getting here. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon, something spicy, maybe a little bit of nutmeg, just something to give that flavor to the fragrance. Now, I do get the sweetness coming in right away, and it's not a very strong vanilla, it's not a very strong amber, but you get that like resinous warmth in the base. And so you know it's there, but it's not overshadowing the other ingredients in the fragrance. So to be perfectly honest, the first fragrance that I thought about was Apple Brandy by Kilian Paris. And I don't know if that's because it has brandy in the name, but there's something about this fragrance that kind of reminds me of Apple Brandy. So I'm wearing it and I'm smelling it and I'm starting to pick up on the other ingredients in here. And it almost kind of smells very dark and boozy in the sense that Baraonda by Nasomato is boozy, but I'm also picking up on like this cherry vibe in there. And I don't fully know where the cherry is coming from. I mean, it could be like an almond ingredient that gives off the smell of cherry. It could actually be a cherry synthetic molecule that is giving off that flavor, but there is this sort of cherry nuance that I think goes hand in hand with the red berries in here. And that blackberry note is very prominent in this fragrance. And so I think in order of appearance, or in the order of strength that you're gonna get these ingredients, you're gonna get the boozy nuances at the strongest, and then the fruity nuances, and then towards the base, you're gonna get the sweet profile of this fragrance. Now, in terms of its evolution, I would say the spiciness and the booziness kind of quiets down a little bit. Towards the end of the life of this fragrance, it does become more of an amber scent. So you are going to get more of that amber richness, the vanilla, maybe a little bit of labdanum in here as well. Because there are some thick, syrupy, viscous, resinous, balsamic ingredients in the base. And I know it's not just vanilla. There's definitely a lot else going on in here. In terms of the woods, I don't get it too strongly, but this does kind of remind me of what would happen if you were to take maybe Apple Brandy by Kilian Paris, like 75% of that, 25% of Baraonda by Nasomato, and also add like this fruity accord in the opening with like cherry and blackberry. So It's a really complex fragrance, and I think it's going to be a booze fragrance lover's dream. And so if you are a fan of booze, if you like alcoholic types of fragrances, I think this is one that's really going to cater to your taste, because it really puts you in the mindset of like a really fine brandy or a really fine whiskey or something like that. I personally really enjoy this one, and the performance on it is also very, very good. So let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I do find this fragrance to be pretty unique. I know I made comparisons to Apple Brandy, but also Baraonda by Nasomato, but there's still something in here that makes it quite different from those other fragrances. And also the new Apple Brandy is Apple Brandy on the Rocks, which kind of has like this fresh bergamot pineapple opening that makes it quite different from the original. And so this does not smell similar to any fragrance currently on the market. And I do think that it possesses a certain level of uniqueness, but it's a boozy accord that you might have smelled before, but it's amplified by those fruits that really put it in a position of being unique. In terms of the longevity, 10 plus hours. This is Extrait de Parfum strength at 33% oil. In terms of the projection, it projects very, very well for the first 2 to 2.5 hours of application, and it really fills a room. I mean, this stuff is really strong. I wouldn't do more than 4 sprays if you are actually going to be wearing this around a lot of other people. It's possible that you're gonna choke somebody out because it is very, very strong, which is the case with most duas. I'm not gonna say all, but it's the case with most duas. In terms of the versatility, I think it's very versatile, great for the cold weather. I wouldn't wear this one in the summertime. I think it's completely unisex. I think there's enough of that vanilla and amber combination in the base that'll appeal to somebody who's a little bit younger, but I think there's enough of that spicy booziness that'll appeal to somebody who's a little bit older. And I think that this one gives off a formal vibe, but because of the price, I can see somebody enjoying this one in a casual setting as well. And then in terms of the presentation, I do like the graphic on the bottle here, and I do like the upgrade with the box and the magnetic flap here and the silhouette of the bottle on the foam padding on the inside. I think it's a really nice upgrade. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you are a fan of fruity and boozy fragrances, if you like fragrances like Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, or even Baraonda by Nasomato, or even Single Malt / Apple Brandy, I know they're 2 different fragrances, but if you like those by Kilian Paris, please check this fragrance out. I think it's a really nice marriage of various elements from those fragrances while still being unique and really having a personality of its own. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed my review of Blackberry Brandy by Dua Fragrances. If you did, please be sure to show your support by subscribing to this channel. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you do like this type of content, and if anything that I said throughout the course of this video was helpful. Thanks again. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.